Hey, sorry for the interruption, but we wanted to let you know that this week's episode is brought to you by Spotify for Podcasters. Really cool app. Josiah and I use it for every single show that we bring to you every week. You can edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so you can start creating as soon as you log into the platform. You can easily distribute your podcasts to Spotify and everywhere else the podcasts are heard, just like we do every single week. You can also create video podcasts on Spotify, which is really cool. And of course, you can earn money like I'm doing right now by including ads and even podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free. There's no catch. We really love it. We use it every single week. So we encourage you to go download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started. All right, let's get back to the show.
Radical! Welcome to this week's episode of the Print on Demand Cast. Each week, join the gnarly Travis and Josiah as they provide insight into the print on demand industry and equip you with the totally tubular tools, advice, and strategies you need to achieve success and hopefully have a few laughs along the way. Now on to this week's Totally Tubular show.
Hello and welcome back to the Print on Demand Cast. We are here live at an undisclosed location that we are recording at, having some beer, just polished off a pizza that was very large.
Very large. Too large. Too large.
Yeah, Cosmos Pizza. If you're ever in the Colorado area, there's a handful of them. But my God, nothing beats their lunch special. I'll tell you that much. I mean,
you will be full.
You will be. You might regret it later.
And if you go with Josiah, he will finish 15 minutes before you.
Yeah, so the little bit of a running, well, it's not a running joke, it's just factual. When Travis and I are out, traveling or eating, whatever, I usually eat and or drink faster than he does.
Always.
Depending on what we're drinking.
It's not usually.
Depending on what's happening.
It's not usually. It's a fact. It happens every time.
It's true. It's true. Statistics show that's actually the truth. So here we are, and we have a little bit of a different show today, different episode. I think these things where we record in person, usually they seem to take a little bit of a different bend because it's much more conversational.
Yeah.
And so a little more free form, a little more loose, and hopefully you at home listening enjoy these episodes. But here we are, Travis, and full disclosure, we are recording this a little bit in advance,
right?
Because as you guys listen to this, I will be in Heidelberg, Germany.
Heidelberg,
world famous for its Christmas markets, apparently.
Huh?
I've never heard of them, but apparently they're famous, and
not world famous, apparently.
And not all the way over here. So Madeline, one of her jobs that she got over this last year was placing foreign exchange students. And she placed enough of them to earn a trip for her and I both, airfare and hotel paid, to Heidelberg, Germany. So it'll be my first international flight over the ocean, which will be fun. I can't sleep on planes, so we'll see how this goes. They're 8 hours ahead of us, so it's gonna be a really fast trip, but it's been a lot of fun. And Madeline really enjoys this job, other than supervising these foreign exchange. It's literally like putting up with high school drama. The things she tells me that happen on a week-to-week basis when she has to check, or month-to-month, I should say. So all of that to say, I will be firmly planted in Germany. I think just coming, but there's a trip to France we're taking, like an hour trip to a little small town that's like an hour away. So I will be sure to fill you guys in.
For its Halloween markets.
Yeah, so it's Thanksgiving, so there's like the Christmas in Heidelberg, and then France, there's the Thanksgiving, and then a little bit further is probably Halloween.
It's not known for its Halloween markets.
No, probably not, but you have to go quite a bit of ways to go to the Easter markets. But anyway, I'll fill you guys in when I am back. I'm sure in person, maybe have some pictures and stuff. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Aside from being on a plane for 9.5 hours nonstop, but and I've never had plane food. I know it's going to be mediocre at best, but hey, it's all going to be an adventure. I'm going to binge watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Yellowstone because I haven't started Yellowstone.
You haven't started Yellowstone?
I've seen half an episode of Yellowstone ever in my life.
Wow.
So I might take that time and binge watch. Yellowstone.
I think that's a
hunter.
wise use of your time.
I think so. What else am I going to do with 9 hours? Be productive?
It's just sleep.
No. So, yeah. Good luck. Good luck with that. So, Travis, where will you be on December 7th?
Where will you be in the future?
What will your experiences maybe be by that time?
Oh my goodness, we will be in the thick of it. I believe it or not, one of my coping mechanisms with like stress and stuff is every once in a while I'll just like go, I wonder if I can take a trip with my wife somewhere.
Right in the middle of it?
Yeah. So I literally was looking, at just, not like going overseas or anything crazy like that, but just like
Vegas or
no, even just literally I was looking downtown Denver.
Oh, yeah.
Just for the weekend, you know, and I'm thinking, would that be relaxing? Would it be?
I think it would be.
Don't know.
I think it would be less relaxing if it was in downtown Denver because of your proximity to the shop. Maybe you'd feel, but if you were like out of state,
but
maybe it would be.
The problem with going out of state is that you have to take that time to travel when you're not working, and so you have less time in the actual locale.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
We can like leave Thursday night, take a Friday, come back on a Sunday night.
Yeah, but I don't know if I can take a Friday. I mean, we are talking about the busiest time of year.
True.
And I don't know. I would love to be able to feel confident enough to leave. You know what I mean? And maybe next year, maybe we could try it. But I feel like I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. We've got 4 temps that we've hired and are going to be there.
Right.
So we've got we probably have enough people, but you just don't know until you get into it. And I talked about this several weeks back, just about how this year is a little bit of an anomaly as far as like projections go.
Sure.
Because we acquired, What For Apparel's business in the middle of the year. And then we have some other clients that are, having issues and they're dropping sales. And so to really have a good idea of what we'll actually be doing is, it's like rolling the dice, really.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we might have a 6, we might have a 1. I don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah.
And, so to answer your question, I have no freaking idea.
It's fair. I'm realizing that it's hard to waffle preemptively. When there's nothing really relevant to that time that we can talk about.
That's all right.
But that's fine. It's good. So yeah, it's going to be a good time in Germany. I'm sure you will be, like you said, in the thick of it and trying to keep all the balls in the air and the plates spinning and all of that kind of stuff. So for this episode, we have a couple different. I think our main event is going to be almost kind of like the equivalent of a reaction video that you would see. But for the point of interest, we're going to talk about something we had John and Kaylee on a few weeks ago. At this point, when you're listening to this, I think probably like 3 or 4 weeks from the time you're listening to this, dear listener. But we want to talk about the importance and the benefit of trade shows. So we're going to use a little bit of a different bumper it's going to happen when I push this little button here because I think it's really fun. So we're going to go to this week's point of interest. Point of interest. So,
that was called a spontaneous bumper.
It was, out of nowhere. So we're going to talk about some trade shows and conferences, and we heard a lot about what John and Kaylee got out of the conference that they went to. So Travis, for someone listening that maybe has never been to a conference or a trade show, what would you say is one of your, like, if someone's like, why should I go to this? Like, honestly, when you're looking at stuff, the schedules, or you're looking at expenses and traveling and doing like, what is something that you can almost guarantee, like, you're going to benefit from this experience because of X? What is that for you?
Well, I really think that it all comes down to knowledge and education. And I don't think you necessarily have to go to a conference or like an education part of the trade show or whatever to get the knowledge. It can help, and sometimes some of these trade shows will have free education seminars. Yeah. And if depending on your level of understanding of the print-on-demand game or just printing in general, it may be it may really benefit you to go to some of that.
Sure.
Some of that free education. But even if you don't go to any education seminars at all at these trade shows, you're going to be talking to people, experts in the industry that are, and they may not be experts on print on demand per se, but they're an expert at screen printed transfers or DTG machines or laser engravers or all of these different things, and they've been working with this particular company or whatever. They're an expert on DTF or whatever. And I think that the conversations that you can have with these people, the connections that you can potentially make, the eye-opening experience, bottom line, is invaluable. I don't know that, if you're just getting started and, you have a few products up or whatever on Etsy and, you're making, not a lot of money, maybe $100, $200 a month, maybe if you're lucky. I don't know if it's the best idea to plan to go to, Atlanta, Georgia to the Printing United and fly and spend $1,000 on your flights and your hotels and your food and all of that. It might be if you're really in it, and you're ready to kind of go full bore on it, but it might be a better idea to wait till Graphics Pro Expo comes to a city that's
closer.
Within driving distance or something like that, and you get a taste. But regardless, I just can't recommend going to a trade show enough. Honestly, it's transformative. It really is. It can be transformative.
Sure.
Not only the education, but the connections that you can potentially make, the ideas that'll come out of that thing. It literally can be transformative to your business.
Yeah. If you go into it, with an open mind and willing to let things kind of change, because you and I've talked about a lot. Our first experience in Portland. You and I were both at that NBM show. We went into it, and at that point, both of us were doing primarily coffee mugs,
right,
and just sublimation. So going into it, that was our sphere. That was what we knew, and it'd be fun to, at least for me, I'll say we'll learn some cool stuff you can do with sublimation, and we can figure out, what else we can do.
What other things we can do with sublimation?
And so, but I can probably recall at least 4 or 5 times in any given day where we'd be like, okay, time out. We're going to sit at this table. What the hell did we just hear? Or what was that thing we just saw? And what was that in education?
That yellow legal pad I had.
Yeah, just furiously scribbling notes and seeing a brother printer printing on a pair of Converse. I was like, time out. What is that machine and what does it do? And then through conversation, understanding the hole that there was, and we talked about this with John and Kaylee, where we'd go up to them and say, so what are your Amazon sales like? And they look at why in the world would we sell on Amazon? I was holy shit. There's a lot of things you can do on this technology. So that's when from that trip is when I went home and told my father-in-law, Jason, look, dude, this is where we need to go, and this is what we can do with it, and this is the e-commerce thing. And so that's kind of what the idea for What For Apparel was birthed out of that Portland experience. But it wouldn't have been if you and I were just okay, we're going to block everything out and we're only going to go to sublimation stuff. We're not going to pay any attention, and we're just going to, there is a benefit to allowing yourself to be immersed in what's there, so you can at least have an idea what's available to you. Yeah. There's a fine line between I'm not going to pay attention to anything else and then shiny object syndrome. Somewhere in the middle is the beneficial, healthy way to navigate a trade show. But I think for me too, I can think of, our friends from Utah that they were in the print business. They've since transitioned, but out of it. But meeting them in Las Vegas at SGIA and making those connections. And for you, Long Beach is when you first met Uncle Mike, really, and connected. And then that has turned into a relationship that has produced the business that you're currently running, the scale and the volume. A lot of that was birthed out of a conversation between you and Mike at a trade show after spending a weekend together and just kind of getting to know one another.
I think to your point, this whole business is about relationships, you know, and that's one of the reasons we created the Facebook group, you know, and we're trying to foster those things. But, online relationships are way different than personal relationships. And that's why, we've been talking about ISS in Long Beach, which is in January. What date is that, Josiah?
It's January 20th through the 22nd.
That's right.
2023 in the Long Beach Convention Center. You can go to expressionsexpo.com/Long Beach and, see the schedule. I don't know if registration's free now.
It won't be by the time they're listening to this.
Yeah. So, but you can still, register to attend if you're in the area. from a lot, I mean, at least from Denver, flights to Long Beach are ridiculously inexpensive
Southwest,
on Southwest. So if you're near a major airport or hub or a Southwest hub, check it out. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be, Travis and I are going to be at that one for sure. I mean, I love going to trade shows for all of the reasons that I just mentioned, and meeting new people and kind of having a place where we can say, especially in the context of the POD cast, like, we want to meet you guys. If you're going to be here, we'll be there, and let's connect and let's network. But the show in January, like we said, Long Beach, lots of stuff happening. So many exhibitors.
Long Beach is kind of
list here.
The ISS
version of
that's their
like the granddaddy.
Yeah, that's their big show. It's at the beginning of the year. A lot of things, like, that's where they introduced the F3070, the Epson F3070 DTG machine, which I have. We have two of them, Make Your Mark Design. That's where they introduced that a couple years ago. So they use this show to kind of, or a lot of decorators and companies that would particularly like exhibit at this show.
Yeah,
they use this as their like launching point for new products and new services and things like that. And it's an immense show. It's very, very large.
Yeah.
I highly recommend that one. They have a couple other shows. They have a Fort Worth one, and then they have one in New Jersey, I think, in the Meadowlands. I think is that the other one. But it's definitely in Fort Worth. Let's see, where's the other one? If you just go to justtheexpo.com, not Long Beach, see what that brings you up.
Yeah, Long Beach. Let's see where else it says here.
Delete the Long Beach.
Whoops.
This is real
live,
time,
folks. This is happening in real time. See what happened.
Boom,
So Long Beach,
Atlantic
City.
Yeah.
In March 23rd, 25th, and then Fort Worth in September 14th through the 16th. So really they hit both coasts and then kind of central in the middle of America kind of thing in Texas. So those are the three opportunities you can have to go to ISS. But like Travis was saying, the Long Beach show is the one that is kind of the Super Bowl.
It's the premier
the
show for them.
Yeah, for sure. So and we will be there. And one of the reasons that we will be there is because Travis is actually speaking on that Saturday at the conference about print on demand, and kind of letting people know and filling them in about the opportunities that are there. So you're going to be there Saturday, 1 o'clock, right, is your speaking time. If you go on the website here, it will say, Travis, make your mark, speaker, make your mark, because they didn't get the design part of it. But yeah, Saturday from 1 to 2:15, he'll be there, room number 101B. So yeah, how are you feeling about that? First of all, like, I know we've kind of talked about it briefly, but you're speaking, and kind of letting people know, like, hey, here's another shiny object, come chase it.
We talked a little bit about this on the episode with John and Kaylee, but I'm approaching it from, hey, you're a print shop already. What about print on demand? What about using your existing equipment to potentially go into print on demand?
Sure.
And are you leaving money on the table? Could there be an e-commerce kind of pivot for you, or maybe not a pivot, but just another branch that's kind of growing out of the main print company tree? That's the whole analogy there. Because I think primarily people will be coming to that have print print shows and print shops and all of that. So that's the way I'm going to approach that. I am excited about it. I spoke a few times at in Vegas at not
SGIA.
What's the
ASD.
ASD,
Yes.
ASD, and they had an education track up, and I spoke primarily on how to get onto Amazon.com as a seller, back when I was doing more arbitrage things and private label things. So I'll probably be using some of that for this particular talk, but it's not going to be just getting on Amazon. It's going to be more using your existing infrastructure to get into the e-commerce game.
Right. That's awesome. So yeah, that's the primary reason we will be there in Long Beach. Again, January 20th to the 22nd. If you guys can make it, let us know in the Facebook group, printondemandcast.com/Facebook. Let us know if you're going to be there, and message us, and we'll try and find a time to meet up and have a drink and hang out, maybe even put you on the show. Who knows? We'll have this mobile rig with us, and we'll see what we can do. So, Travis, a couple other shows that are of note, I guess, to think about attending. One of which is Graphics Pro Expo, which of course there's always one of those. Usually
that's the show that it was in Portland. It was
the NDM at that point.
They used to call it the NBM. They've now call it the Graphics Pro Expo.
Yep.
But they have more shows. Some of them are smaller than others, but the fact that they have more shows, they're showing up kind of in more locales. So if you are a beginner, or early on in your business, this might be something that you would go to just because it's close,
sure.
And you don't have to get a hotel maybe,
sure.
or you can drive to it and save the airfare.
Yeah. So they have a handful of shows coming up in 2023. Irving, Texas, March 9th and 10th. Charlotte, North Carolina, April 27th and 28th. Indianapolis, Indiana, June 15th and 16th. Portland, Oregon, July 19th and 20th. Maybe we should go just to reminisce, just to christen, celebrate that time when we drink from a fire hose for 3 days. They will also be on Long Beach, August 18th and 19th, and then they kind of round out the year in Baltimore, Maryland. So there's a lot more locations. Again, you can go to graphics-pro-expo.com/events. And you can see a full schedule of what they have available for this year. And like Travis said, there's probably a lot more. That might be a little more localized to your area, or at least driving distance, or you maybe don't have to spend as much money. So that's Printing or Graphics Pro. And then the other one is Printing United, formerly known as SGIA.
Yeah.
Which is, we went to one of those in Las Vegas.
Seems like the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, that one's like the one. It's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia this year. October 18th and 20th. And so this one is like...
Yeah, it's more...
mind-blowingly large.
All things printing. So they're going to have 3D printers there. They're going to have, large format printing. I mean, we're talking about like 15 feet wide machines that are printing out banners and things like that. So they're going to have all kinds of stuff. But they also do have a lot of decoration, companies like... Yeah. Different. It's really mind blowing.
There's so many. I mean, we're sitting
really
here looking at the floor plan right now,
and it's massive,
and it's huge. There's already so much,
and it's not until next October, and they've already got all these people.
There's still all these booths
shows
that are available to be had and to be used for people that want to be there. So this one is, like we said, kind of the big one. It's right before. Or right in the beginning, I should say, of Q4.
Yeah.
Getting into that, so it's another one that's going to be.
You got to plan for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. It's very big. We went to one. I've been to one SGIA, and it was at the convention center there in Las Vegas, and it was like 3 football fields or something crazy worth of stuff. I mean, it's massive. So much to go to. But all that to say, there's other shows that take place throughout the year that could prove beneficial for you to attend if you want to. But we would definitely encourage you at least go to one. Try and make one throughout the year, just to see, kind of have your finger on the pulse of what's happening in the industry. Make those connections. You never know, if you do sublimation and you don't want to get into actual T-shirt DTG production, you could make a connection with someone that does that you can help outsource that business to, and now you have a way to provide that to your end user. Through the connection that you made at this trade show. So there's lots to be done and lots of benefit to attending these.
Yeah, I think we've probably beaten this horse.
Yes.
I mean, we've talked a lot about ISS already. Just in the last several months, I posted a lot about it.
That's because we want you guys to come hang out.
Exactly. That's more selfish. But it goes without saying. Well, I guess it doesn't go without saying because we just said a lot about it
for 23 minutes.
The bottom line really is these shows are valuable, and if you can figure out a way to make it to one, it can be, like I said before, it can be transformative to your business and at least eye-opening. There's just a lot of education that you can get from just walking the expo floor. So if you're close to one of these cities, do yourself a favor. Check it out.
Yep, 100%. So that does it for this week's Point of Interest. Point of Interest. So, on to the main event of the show.
Wait, you have a main event bumper,
We
too.
do. It's the main event.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, we are going to kind of react to this. We found a list online that is 20 easy ways to make money while you sleep. And I think if you've been a long time listener to this show, and if you're a first time listener, you're going to find out that Travis and I kind of have this like aversion, if not a complete repudiation of the idea of
stupidity.
Stupidity and the idea of like, oh yeah, just do this and you'll make a shit ton of money. Like we don't enjoy. It's just not accurate in a lot of instances. So we're going to go through this list and give you our thoughts on some of them and let you know what we think and how you could do this. So we're gonna start with the number one way to make money while you sleep is affiliate marketing, Travis.
Yeah.
A little bit from the article here. It says to become a successful affiliate marketer, you need a platform to promote the products or services you are marketing. Whether it's a blog or social media, you need a way to share your affiliate links so you can earn income. It can take time and energy, which is an understatement, to successfully build an income stream through affiliate marketing. However, there are affiliate marketers earning thousands of dollars each and every month. This is a viable passive income opportunity. Okay. So they at least acknowledge it does take some time, and effort,
right?
But you can't just write a blog,
right,
and then try and have people whore it out for you and make money.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we will find as we continue to move along and we laugh hilariously at these 20 ideas, is that they all take work, believe it or not, up front before you can, earn that proverbial money overnight, while you're sleeping.
Yes.
There's just a lot to it. But I mean, affiliate marketing is a very, very viable source of potentially creating income.
Yeah.
It does take a lot of work. I mean, we've provided affiliate links on this podcast and people have bought through them and we have made money through affiliate links. Now that's not like that hasn't been our main focus or anything like that.
Right.
But it'll probably be something that we continue to do. We're going to continue to have people on the show that have products that can potentially help our audience, and it makes sense to provide those opportunities for our audience.
Yeah.
And hell, get a kickback. I mean,
why not?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think affiliate marketing has the potential in some people's minds. It has a black eye.
Sure.
But I think that if you do it ethically, I think it's a very viable source of income.
Yeah.
But it's not something, just the whole premise of this whole article, getting paid overnight. It's ridiculous. I mean, yes, you will, like right now, my business, I make money while I sleep. But I got to make that thing the next day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if it's affiliate marketing, I made that thing several months ago.
Right.
And I spent a crap ton. I spent so much time creating that content, creating that course, creating that platform that people would come to my blog or whatever. And then finally, months, even years down the road, someone clicks the link and buys, and I get, $47 or something.
Yeah. There's lots of potential sleepless nights in order to make money in your sleep, especially if you're creating something that will be of value.
Totally.
For sure. All right, so number 2, it says alternative investments. When you think of investing, it's likely that your mind jumps to the stock market. Although investors opt for the stock market, that's not the only way to invest. So cryptocurrency is on this list.
Oh, boy.
And precious metals.
Ouch.
Yes, and farmland. Wow. Okay. So I don't have. I mean, cryptocurrency. I feel like is. I mean, you dabble in the crypto more than I do.
Yeah, and I don't really have a lot to say about that. If you've watched the crypto markets recently, or any of the markets recently, I mean, I think this one, when you talk about investments, in my mind at least, it's like, okay, I already had a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I put it into something that's going to give me, quote, money while I sleep.
Right.
And I mean, any type of interest is going to do that. I mean, if you own your home, you are technically making money while you sleep. It
appreciates in value.
Yeah. I mean, of course, that's assuming everything's going well and that America isn't going into recession, et cetera, et cetera. But for the most part, most houses are appreciating in value, and so... but it takes so much capital to do this. I don't think that this really is what people think about when they think of make money online.
No.
You know what I mean? And I know it's just saying things to do to make money while you sleep, but to me, this is kind of like, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I think the next one we both have plenty of thoughts on.
Yep.
Because I'm going to exit out of this pop-up here. Number 3, the number 3 way to make money while you sleep is Amazon FBA. Sure.
Yeah.
Again, eventually. I think this is maybe one of the things that kind of led to our, regurgitation of things that you make money while you sleep, because we both did it at Amazon FBA, and it seemed like there was such a plethora of people saying, "Will you make money instantly doing Amazon FBA? Buy this course, and I make millions of dollars." And it's like, well, that's not the full picture,
right?
At all.
That's true. And I mean, while you can make millions of dollars, the only way you're going to make millions of dollars with Amazon FBA is if you have either you have a long time to do that,
yes,
and you have a long time to kind of build your capital and then reinvest your capital into more product. Slow, and then rinse and repeat, and 5 years later, you hit $1 million or something like that. Even 2 years later, it just depends on how fast you can turn that inventory. Or you have a hell of a lot of money to start, and you can buy your way to that $1 million mark. And that's the thing with Amazon FBA. The one thing that was always kind of humorous to me, and I'm sure it was humorous to you, whenever you hear people talking about, Amazon FBA is like, I made $1 million. And we've talked about this on the podcast before. That is not true. You may have revenues of $1 million, but you did not make $1 million. That's just not the truth.
No.
And I think a lot of the kind of course-driven mentality would have you say, I made, or have you believe those things.
Sure.
Now, I will say that if you've done $1 million on Amazon, you probably put a lot of money in your pocket. At least I hope you did.
Yeah.
You didn't sell it for you didn't sell it all for loss, but you probably did okay. But it's all about your margins, really. It's how you price that stuff. It's how well you buy that stuff. Amazon FBA is a good way to make money. Mm-hmm. And it is a relatively low barrier to entry, although Amazon continues to make it higher and higher. They make it more and more difficult for their sellers. And you've heard us talk about that a million times
We've
over.
lamented many times.
Yeah, Uncle Mike's lamenting on it. We're lamenting on it. But at the end of the day, yes, I think this is probably one of the best ways to make money.
Yeah, it's for sure a viable way to make money online. But the idea of it being easy is certainly not. I mean, in this article, it mentions retail arbitrage, and that is the definition of a grind and a hustle.
It is it's a lot of work.
So much work hitting so many different stores and trying to cut deals, and if I buy all of it, will you give me this much off? And I mean, it's a lot. And then again, the investment of time of shipping that stuff into Amazon FBA and inventory lab. I mean, all this stuff that you have to use in the time that it takes. I mean, you're going to be investing a lot of time to get it to a place where you'll be making money in your sleep.
Yeah, that's true. We could obviously, both of us could talk about Amazon FBA for a long, long time. But let's just go ahead and move on.
Yeah. So number 4 is build an app, which again, it's just
so easy.
It's just so like.
Yeah.
I had an idea for an app once for this game that we used to play in college that we called Mafia. You drew a card and like it's like a party game. And I had the idea of making an app, calling it Mafia Party, and having the app narrate who died. You know, you can enter in the information and then the app makes up the story for you. And it was like, you know, and everyone had their cell phones, so instead of cards, you could just everyone joined this hotspot, whatever. And the amount of work, first of all, and a developer is really expensive.
They can be, for sure.
They can be. I mean, if you're going to make an app that's worth anything, I'd imagine the upfront cost to get, unless you are a developer and you want to do some like where I poop app where you can literally log I mean, that's a real app, people. You can download an app that you can document the places where you've pooped in the world. And like check in the location. It's ridiculous, and I only know it because one of my nephews has it, and he showed it to me, and I was like, "This is the most outrageous thing I've ever seen in my life." But all that to say, it's a lot of investment. It's a lot of time. It's not that easy to just build an app.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's kind of like that whole like, oh, just buy a farm and you'll make money while you sleep.
Yeah,
you know, I mean it's the same thing. And the other side of this thing is that apps are so saturated now, who knows, you're going to have to do a hell of a lot of marketing to get that thing seen and get it downloaded enough to where it actually makes a dent in the, you know, the app ecosphere.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, to do that, you have to offer the app for free and then offer in-app purchases or something, because you can't just price your app for $6 and it's just so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
That's really difficult. I think number 5 again is more of the same. Creating online courses and webinars.
It's kind of the affiliate marketing type thing.
Yeah, kind of more of the same of that. Of course, if you have knowledge in anything, Travis is ordering a beer.
Yeah, sorry guys.
No, it's fine. I don't know why I'm saying it's fine. I'm not the listener. They might be pissed. Who knows? But you can create an online course and webinar, which again is totally doable. I mean, it's not like, I mean, Jason and I have those conversations all the time. It's like we could make a course about how to do a POD, but I mean, it's always there. It's something you can do, but to package it correctly, to make sure the production value is not. I mean, you have to storyboard and you have to figure it out and what course is going to go where, and you're going to edit and who's going to post edit and how you're going to release it and what's the cost going to be. I mean, there's so many things that go into it that make it of value to the end user.
Right.
It's got to look good. It's got to be cohesive. It's got to be coherent. You have to have a plan of action instead of just sitting down in front of your iPhone and trying to record a course. There's lots of time that goes into it.
Yeah, and even beyond that, like what's your platform? You know, you're going to create an online course, but who's going to actually know about it? that's you may have the best actual information on the particular topic that's on the internet, but if nobody knows it, if you haven't built a platform, it's not going to go anywhere.
Sure.
You know, your mom and your grandma and your cousin are going to buy it, and that's it. And and they're going to give you good reviews, and you're going to have 3 5-star reviews, and never sell anything again. I mean, that's not kidding, guys. That's a lot of things happen, or a lot of these products go out there, and that's their whole life cycle right there. I just explained it. Die. Yeah, because they didn't have a platform to release it on. You're going to do a webinar and you get 4 people. That's not fun.
No.
You have to build something to then make it worth it for these people to and have a platform to then build a course or a webinar on. So it's not just as easy as building a course and all of a sudden you'll make money while you sleep. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not the old expression of if you build it, they will come is true, but you have to build the platform, and then through that you build the demand for whatever course that you want to release. Right. So there's an order of operations that if you do it out of order, you might have the best content or the best insight in the world. It would be it's not an indictment against necessarily what you have. you just didn't do it in the right way, and so you could get discouraged and then not want to do it anymore. It can get really messy. So
Yeah.
I'm figuring out here that we're probably going to have to skip. I don't know if we can do all 20.
That's all right.
But anyway, the next one is something we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
Drop shipping. We talk about this all the time.
We do.
And in fact, number 6 is drop shipping in this list. Number 15 is print-on-demand products.
I know. They could probably put those two together.
Yeah, so what's the difference?
Well,
riddle me this.
Obviously, drop shipping is, kind of encompasses print on demand, but you can drop ship furniture, guys. You could, have a really cool site that has all these home decor things, and you could, drop ship, the dining room table and all the chairs and all of the, the hutch and all of that stuff for an entire room, because you have provided value to somebody who is looking to redecorate their dining room.
Yep.
And you happen to be the person that they came to, and you had these great ideas, and you had all these cool shots and cool, pictures and all of that. And so they bought from you, and then you're just literally forwarding that information, forwarding that order to another company, and they're sending it to the end user.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very similar to print on demand. I mean, it's the same concept for a lot of our listeners. They have a shop on Etsy.
Yeah.
Someone orders something from them. They either through an integration or manually, they push that to a fulfillment center. Fulfillment center sends it on their behalf to the end user. It's the same thing, just drop shipping. Yeah.
Yep. Next on the list, we'll touch on this quickly because none of us know anything about it, but invest in fine wine. So there you go, folks. That is your make your money quick. Invest in Pinot Gris, and you can get yourself
right. I mean, it obviously
rich.
Obviously worked for Gary Vee because he had no other skills except for wine.
None at all. And he just happened to work in his dad's wine shop.
That was
store.
it.
Yeah. The next one, I mean, this kind of goes into affiliate marketing and course creation and stuff like that. But launch a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You have to meet so many criteria for your YouTube channel to make you money, and you have to post all the time and consistently and so much. So if you have time to, it's more than just a weekly YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a good place to start. But you have to have. I think it was like 1,500 to 2,000 watch hours for them to even consider monetizing your channel.
Wow.
And so you have to have content that people want. You have to know how to get it in front of the people that want to watch it, and the keywords and descriptions, and it has to be, it's just, there's so much that goes into it. So yeah, building an audience, and that's a good way to build an audience for, let's say, one of those courses that we were talking about.
Yeah,
but it's going to take a long time. You're going
to put in a lot of work before you even get close to monetization on a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Now, the cool thing about it is that it kind of dovetails nicely with some of the other things that we've been talking about.
Sure.
And those can work in tandem to kind of build that empire, if you will, for making money while you sleep.
If you build a good following on YouTube, or even if you build a good following on TikTok and transition and bring them over to YouTube or whatever, and then you have a platform and an audience to do a podcast, do a YouTube channel, sell a course to, sell merch to, drip print on demand merch to those followers. So a lot of this is very cohesive, and there's a lot of a symbiotic relationship and synergy between a lot of these things, where you do one and it can lend itself easily to creating another way for you to make that money while you sleep. And I guess one way you can make money while you sleep is to literally live stream yourself sleeping.
That's the next one, guys.
Say
that again, because I think that might have just gone under the radar because you just blended it into the last point.
Yeah, and it's not this week's dad joke either. It's live stream yourself sleeping. Believe it or not, people have earned money by live streaming while sleeping. It's strange, but true.
This is insane.
Some gamers have earned thousands of dollars while sleeping. If you have a big following on TikTok or Twitch, this is an intriguing option to consider. And before we press record on this, I showed Travis this person who literally he's live streaming himself sleeping, and then he has a TV with these options where you could send him a gift on TikTok, and that thing would trigger a reaction or a
sending
sound.
Him money.
Yes.
A certain amount of money would trigger something that would happen in his room. And all of a sudden, these lights would go on and and alarms and all this. And to the TikTokers' I don't know. I was going to say to his credit.
That might be a little too generous.
Yeah, he just reacts in this crazy way, and he's like, he was like punching the air, pretending like he was getting assaulted. it was very awkward, and I mean, it was literally like, okay, all right,
yeah,
you totally planned this, and you're a bad actor.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was bad.
So that is number, and then I like I said, I have no experience in that, but I have seen people do it. So
it's crazy. So yeah, guys, just go ahead and just put a camera on you while you sleep.
Yeah.
I think that's the moral of the story.
In fact, I'm going to suggest that to my wife when I get home. my mild to mid TikTok followers can watch me sleep, all 3,200 of them. Of course, the next one, they rent a room in your home, which, sure. I mean, people do that all the time with Airbnb and those kinds of things.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, you can, if you have the ability or the permission, to sublet, to lease out a room or whatever, you can do that. Airbnb seems like a better alternative or resource to do that with. Mm-hmm. And then you can also just rent your stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
I mean, one thing that you can do that qualifies as stuff is cars.
Like the Turo?
Yeah, when my wife and I went to Salt Lake City, we rented a convertible and drove up into the mountains for a day on Turo, and it was awesome. So if you do have an extra car, or perhaps if you're married and you have two cars and you can get by with one, or you don't use your car or whatever, you can. You could use Turo to rent that thing out. I mean, there's other things you can rent out in your house too that maybe people want. Maybe you have a really nice camera. I don't know. That's terrifying.
Just insure.
Yeah,
all
make
of those
sure it's
things.
all insured.
Sure.
Says the insurance agent.
Yeah, exactly. You want to go ahead and declare those items if you're just going to be leasing them out to people. Mm-hmm. One of these here, number 16 on this list, is sell stock content, which I think is actually a pretty easy way to. I mean, if you're already taking pictures and you're a good photographer,
right,
and you want to upload to a stock website and offer and get paid for those things, I think for me that's one of the things. Like, oh yeah, that makes sense, because it is. If you're already taking pictures and you have a knack for it, then put it up on Shutterstock. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that far-fetched of an idea where you could, if your images are high quality, that you could end up making probably not a lot of money, but a decent, you can make some shopping money or mailbox money.
I think, and the caveat or the kind of brother or sister of that idea, if you're an artist and you can create cool designs, Etsy is a great place to sell digital assets. Yeah. You could do not only just designs, you could do mock-ups, you can do all kinds of things. You can also use Gumroad for that. Yep. If you can build some type of a following, and people will sell designs on Gumroad. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there with kind of selling, your mock-ups or your like you said, your photos or your designs or whatever it is. There's a lot of places that you can do that, and there's a lot of people that will buy that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, think of how many times you've looked for that really cool print-on-demand mock-up. Well, it's probably on Etsy, or it's on creativemarket.com, or it's, you can put yourself out there if you can kind of package all that stuff up into a nice, pretty package.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Madeline has bought a lot of mock-ups through Etsy for people who just took pictures of their friends or models in a Next Level 3600 and all these different colors, and then stylized them correctly. And that is a way, if you can do photography and get those mock-ups, or like Travis said, if you're a designer, I've bought pieces of like digital content that I intended to. I didn't end up doing it, but I intended to buy it and then get it printed myself, or like do it, print that out and hang it up for decoration or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've done that before, and it's a good way to earn money that way as well.
Yeah. That's a great That's a great option, I guess. And I like that one.
Yeah, that one I like. I'm not as hesitant or skeptical about that one. And then maybe the last one that we'll cover here. In the age that we're in, everyone has an opinion, and you might as well take that opinion and turn yourself into a product, which is number 19, which means, again, build an audience of fans who want to hear what you have to say. Once you have an audience of followers, you can start to create products and reflect your thoughts, which, What For Apparel targeted people that were doing that, really.
Basically, it's being an influencer.
Yeah, essentially.
Make yourself into an influencer. And that could be, you don't have to be beautiful, and have all the right curves to be an influencer. There are other things that people are interested in that you can kind of champion and become an influencer in a specific space. I know, for instance, the big client that we've always talked about on this show that What For Apparel had, he was a huge influencer in the political space.
Yes.
And he wasn't the most attractive guy or the most well-spoken or whatever, but he had really, really polarizing opinions.
Yep.
And the people that were on his side of the fence really liked what he had to say.
Yeah.
And so they bought stuff from him.
Yep.
He turned himself into a product.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, TikTok is filled with people that are wanting to do that,
right?
Turning themselves into products and whatever sphere that they are currently, involved in. But like Travis said, you don't have to be. There's some stuff. There's some people that there's a guy that I follow who his entire channel is his handle is chef reactions, and he's a professional chef that sits there and duets. Which, if you're not familiar with TikTok, you can basically duet a video, which is give your reaction in real time. And he sits there and he critiques people's cooking. And he's sarcastic and he's very cynical and he's like, this thing sucks.
Is it like Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah, but not like, he's very dry and very monotone. It's
okay.
And so, but he has like millions of followers.
Wow.
And that's all he does. That's it. And he doesn't talk about anything other than food. So there's a lot of things out there that you can do that with. But again, it's going to take a lot of consistency. You have to post multiple times a day and try different. It's about the right hashtags. It's about do you want to hop on a TikTok trend or whatever to try and get that attention and viral to bring people to your page. So there's lots of it doesn't seem like it, but there is some intentionality. If you really are trying to build a viewership, you do have some of those moments where a weird anomaly will pop off and you're like, I don't know why that went viral, or I don't know why I got 60. I did a comment about I did a TikTok one time about the new Buzz Lightyear movie and making a joke about how because Tim Allen didn't voice Buzz Lightyear.
Right.
So my joke was, if I was a kid and I went to go see Buzz Lightyear in the movies and I got the toy and his voice wasn't the same, I'd be a little pissed off. And it got like 200,000 views.
Wow.
Ridiculous. And the assortment of comments, people correct, like, well, actually, that the toy voices are never actually the same. And I'm like, it was a joke. I don't give a shit about how this works. I really don't care. But there's stuff like that pops off. But again, there's some intentionality, but you can turn yourself into a product. That's social media. That's what you can do.
Totally. I think there's plenty of examples of that. Turn yourself into an influencer. Again, you don't have to be beautiful.
Right.
You can look like me or Josiah. Yeah. And hey, technically we're influencers. You're listening to this.
I think so.
Listener, you are listening to. We are influencing you, whether you like it or not.
Let me tell you something. If you live stream yourself sleeping after this, we influence you to do that.
Yeah.
So
very simple.
We'll take credit. I'm on TikTok right now. I'll look after I'm done here. But there's this guy, he's a larger man who takes rock and roll songs and makes parodies of them about food and sings them shirtless. And that's his entire channel.
Wow.
And he has hundreds of thousands of followers, and that's all he does. So, anybody.
We are in a unique time, my friends. There are a lot of things you could do to make money.
Yeah.
And we've touched on a few of them. And hopefully, I don't know. Should I say hopefully one of them resonated with you? I don't know.
Hopefully.
Maybe the print-on-demand one. I hope.
Yeah. Hopefully you found this entertaining. It's a little bit of a deviation from what Travis and I usually do. But we just thought it'd be fun to kind of give our thoughts on these and just the idea in general that you can find something and then immediately start making money in your sleep.
Right.
Which, of course, we don't believe is true. It takes a lot of effort on the front end to get to that point where you're making money in your sleep or making money while you're sipping a Mai Tai on a beach somewhere. It's a longer journey than that. So,
Totally.
yeah, Travis, anything else before we wrap this one up?
Nah, man, you should just jump in and finish us off.
All right, I will do that. Hold on, wait. Do we have a dad joke? Oh, no, we usually don't preempt it anymore. But do we have a dad joke this week?
Yeah, I actually was talking to a friend in North Korea, and I was just asking him.
You have a friend in North Korea?
I was talking to him, and I was just like, I was just asking him what it's like to live in North Korea, and he said, "I can't complain."
I love that joke. It just reiterates why I'm happy I live in America. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let us know which one of those ways to make money in your sleep you tried, and if you did live stream yourself sleeping, let us know how it went.
Please post the stream.
Yes, please. I want to see this. Please get your wife's permission before you do this in case she doesn't know that you're doing it. I don't advise that at all. I think that's a court case, if I'm not mistaken. Even though you are in the covenant of marriage, I feel like a state legislature would feel differently if she complained. So, but let us know what you guys thought of the episode. If you want to see or hear more reaction episodes like this, or kind of Travis and I's candid opinion on some things, we'd be happy to do that as well. So to let us know, go to printondemancast.com/Facebook and join the Facebook group, join the conversation, the community. We look forward to hearing from you guys there. You can also reach out to us via email, info@printondemancast.com is where you can reach out to us and do that. If you are listening to us on the Apple Podcast app that I will forever call iTunes because I hate the fact that they changed it and expect me to care, leave us a 5-star review, or any star, but we know it'll be 5-star because you love us. And let us know what you think of the show. But basically what that does is it helps the algorithm and tells the system to put this content in front of the people that need to hear it and would benefit from it. My God, I don't have the bumper, but human absolute pressure. It's a very Joe Biden moment. So let us know what you think of the show that way as well. And then, anything else? I'm completely blanking on the tail end. I think that was it. Is that what I usually say?
I think you said Instagram. You said YouTube.
Yeah. printondemancast.com/Instagram.
You said info@printondemancast.com if you want to email us. You said printondemancast.com/shop if you want to buy a cool shirt.
Yeah.
I think you did it all, man.
Oh, come on, man. Okay, sweet. All right, I did it. Well, until next time, for Travis, I'm Josiah. We'll see you right here on the Print on Demand cast.
See ya.
Hey, babe. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Print on Demand cast. We hope you enjoyed the Totally Tubular Show. If you got a question or a suggestion for the show, send Travis and Josiah an email at info@printondemandcast.com. Want to be wicked nice? Take a minute to rate and review the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe now so you don't miss next week's episode. See you next time, for sure.